If the ladies are watching this content will absolutely benefit you as well. So stay tuned as we continue looking into the top 10 foods that will weaken men. These foods are in no particular order, but number 10 for me personally is something that I do take very seriously and I completely eliminate from my particular diet or eating regime. Also, I'm not promoting extremism. There are a lot of ways of eating out there that people suggest that are very extreme. There's ways of exercising, ways of living your life just in general that are extreme. So they're contracted, they're confined, you can't do this, you mustn't do that. All I'm suggesting is to minimize these 10 particular foods or these 10 particular food ingredients in some instances. So for example, if you're out with friends and there's a lovely restaurant that's opened and the special on the night is, for instance, a really nice pork dish and it sounds really good, please live a little and have that pork dish, it's no issue. But in general, keeping the following foods to a minimum and if you can, eliminating. So let's get into it. So the first one today is pork. Now, unless you can source the pork from a really well pastured farm or local area where the environment is clean, the likelihood is that most pork that you buy from the supermarket and even some of the butchers is going to be from commercial farms. These commercial farms are filthy, they live in deplorable conditions, and they end up eating basically anything and including their own feces. And that ends up transferring into the flesh, which then ends up transferring into your flesh. And on the way, it puts a huge burden on your detoxification pathways. The next one is shellfish. Now again, not to be an extremist, it's not like you can't have it every now and then, but prawns, shrimp, they are designed to be the garbage collectors of the ocean. So they are eating all of the sediment and all of the things that settle at the bottom of the ocean. I just personally wouldn't want to be eating that. It transfers into their flesh, again, which transfers into your flesh eventually, and again, burdens your system with having to clear out those chemicals and toxins that the prawns are going to and the shrimp are going to accumulate. Number 3 is corn. Now, the majority of corn, pretty much all corn, is genetically modified. So it is not natural for our bodies. It's not the original corn that we're eating. This can play havoc with allergies, all kinds of autoimmune responses, and just in general, there's plenty of other grains out there to choose from that are much safer. So keeping corn to a minimum or eliminating is the suggestion here today. The next one is artificial sweeteners. These contain excitotoxins, which essentially stimulate the neurotransmitters in your gut and in your brain to give you a lift, to boost your mood. But I'm sorry guys, it's fake. It's completely fake, it's artificial, and this isn't something that you want to be putting in your body. So please read the labels on your sports drinks. A lot of the confectionery, I had someone offer me some macadamia nuts recently full of artificial sweeteners in them, and also the protein powders and health food powders out there usually contain artificial sweeteners. The next one is hydrogenated oils. So with the exception of olive oil and avocado oil, which technically are actually from fruits, the rest of the vegetable oils, which have been touted as being so healthy for us and all of this garbage, they are absolutely not, guys. They are highly toxic to the system, particularly when they're heated, and generally speaking, when we use them, we're heating them to cook something. So these oils are something that you want to preferably eliminate from your diet, and the difference that you will notice will be from an inflammatory perspective. Joints, pain in the body, scattered brain, etc. These things will disappear if you can get those omega-6, or otherwise known as PUFAs or polyunsaturated fats, out of your diet completely. So just eliminating the vegetable oils. The next one is GMO products. So anything that's genetically modified. Do you really want to be a science experiment here on the planet? Because we're really new into this genetically modified food. So for me personally, I've elected to opt out of the experiments that are going on on this planet, and that includes the genetically modified foods. So I will look at the ingredients and I will do my very best to make sure I'm not eating any of the processed foods or packaged foods that I sometimes eat that contain genetically modified ingredients. I'll leave the science experiment for the zombie apocalypse. Number 7 is MSG, otherwise known as monosodium glutamate. Now, if you're rolling your eyes and thinking, oh, I've already been over this, I've done my research on this, there's plenty of studies out there suggesting it's harmless, there's plenty of people on YouTube and there's articles written about it saying it's found in cucumber and it's perfectly natural fine. Guys, it's just like an artificial sweetener. It is an excitotoxin, it stimulates your brain. And the other thing about MSG is it basically makes you want to eat more. Okay, so it's added by food manufacturers for that sole reason, to get you eating more of their products. So please, again, let's not increase the gargantuan profits of these food conglomerates who are just adding specific chemicals and nasty little tricks and spells into their food to make you eat more. Number 8 is soy. So just like wheat, just like corn, the majority of soy on the planet is genetically modified. So again, it's a science experiment, and we really don't need any more beta males and soy boys out there who deny their body of nutritious, wholesome animal products that actually boost their testosterone and basically make them a healthier man. Number 9 is grain-fed animal products. Now, most animal products that you buy at the supermarkets and within your area are going to be from grain-fed animals. It's just the way the industry works. It's much cheaper to have cows and other animals out on large pastures of grass is costly. It costs more. So sourcing your animal products, whether it be yogurt, milk, meat, from pasture-raised farms is the best bet there, where they're eating the grass which they're naturally supposed to eat, and not these grains that are grown in Brazil and chopping down the Amazon rainforest for one, and then being shipped over to fatten up the cows and fatten up the cows in the local area in the Amazon rainforest, for those of you that are unaware of that. And last but certainly not least, number 10, wheat. Just like corn, just like soy, it is genetically modified, so most of the wheat that you find, unless you're in parts of Europe or you can source from local health food stores, but it's very expensive to get the original einkorn wheat. So the breads and the pastas, etc., made with einkorn are usually very expensive, and I just want to be cognizant of that, because cost of living and all of that sort of thing that's happening in 2024. It's been genetically modified quite simply to grow to a particular height and just basically be more friendly to the farmer to harvest. So it's got nothing to do with improving the wheat for our health. The amount of gluten in the wheat these days is very, very high. It's much more than the original einkorn. And this is playing havoc on people's systems. And I'm happy to just go out on the record here and just put it to you plain. It is a poison, and it is designed to be cheap, tasty, and prevalent. So it's everywhere. It's on your shop corner, it's at your bakery, it's at the supermarket, pretty much in all foods, and it is poisoning people. Whether people want to realize that or not and take responsibility for that or not, it is doing something to your body in a negative fashion. Whether that's affecting your mental health, whether it's affecting you physically from an inflammatory perspective. It could be the reason that you've got sore joints, limited range of motion. There's a whole range of factors that wheat is responsible for. So happy to say it, it's a poison. It's been used for decades now by the controllers to essentially weaken you. So stop the weakening, eliminate wheat altogether. There are plenty of other safe grains out there that you can consume. If you didn't get anything out of this video, give it a thumbs down. If you did get something out of this video and benefited from it, please give it a thumbs up. Until next time, I ask that you keep well, and I'll see you in the next episode.